Welcome. In this explainer, we're going to journey deep inside the human body to uncover the secrets of our digestive system. And believe me, it's a world that is way more complex and frankly, way more intelligent than you might think. All right, let's get into it. You know that feeling, right? That fluttery, almost anxious sensation right there in your stomach before a big meeting or maybe a first date. Well, it turns out that feeling, it's not just in your head. It's a very real physical signal from a surprisingly smart system that's buried deep inside you. You heard me right, a second brain. Hidden away in the walls of your digestive system is this massive network of neurons that scientists are actually calling our second brain. And today, we're going to figure out what it is, what it does, and how it connects to everything from your mood to your overall health. But first things first, to really get a handle on the gut, we need to meet the microscopic workers that make everything happen, digestive enzymes. You can think of them as the unsung heroes of your body, a highly specialized breakdown crew. So think about it like this. These enzymes, they're like little biological scissors. They take the complex foods we eat, all the carbs, proteins, and fats, and just snip them into tiny little nutrient molecules that our bodies can actually absorb and use. Without them, a cheeseburger is just a cheeseburger. It's not fuel. Now, you probably think digestion kicks off in the stomach, right? Nope. It actually starts the second food passes your lips. As dietitian Morgan Denhart explains, your own saliva is just packed with an enzyme called amylase, and it gets to work on carbohydrates immediately. Okay, so let's follow that bite of food on its pretty incredible journey. After it leaves the mouth and gets churned up in the stomach, it enters this highly organized, super efficient assembly line that's designed for one thing and one thing only: pulling out all the good stuff. So after the stomach does its job, this food mixture, which is now called chyme, slides into the small intestine. This is where the main event really happens. And a super important player, the pancreas, gets the signal to jump into action. Now, your body makes enzymes in a few different places. The pancreas, it is truly the powerhouse. It whips up this potent cocktail of the most critical enzymes you need to process pretty much everything you could possibly eat. What's really amazing is how specialized this whole system is. The pancreas doesn't just dump one generic enzyme in there. No way. It releases specific tools for specific jobs. You've got amylase for carbs, lipase for fats, and protease for proteins. It's like a master mechanic with a perfect wrench for every single bolt. But how does the pancreas know when to release that enzyme cocktail? It's not just on a schedule. The entire system is managed by this sophisticated network of chemical messengers. Think of them as the gut's very own management team. Okay, this looks pretty complicated, I know. What it's really showing is a perfectly coordinated chemical conversation. In fact, your gut is the biggest hormone-producing organ in your entire body, and it's constantly sending out these messages to manage its own operations. Let's break down that complicated diagram. It's actually pretty simple. When food shows up in the small intestine, its presence, especially the fats and acids in it, basically trips an alarm. This triggers hormones like secretin and CCK to be released. These hormones are like a text message that goes out to the pancreas saying, hey, we need enzymes now. And another to the gallbladder saying, time to send in the bile. It's a flawless feedback loop. So this system is incredibly efficient in most healthy people. Which brings us to a multi-billion-dollar question. If our bodies are already so good at this, do we really need to be helping it with digestive enzyme supplements? And here is the absolute key difference. On one side, you have prescription enzymes. These are actual FDA-regulated medicines for people with specific diagnosed conditions. But on the other side, you've got the over-the-counter supplements, which are not regulated by the FDA. That means there's no guarantee about what's in them, dosage, or if they even work. So what's the expert takeaway here? Well, for most of us, the answer is pretty clear. The best thing you can do is just support your body with a balanced whole food diet to keep your own natural enzyme factory running smoothly. The best enzymes, hands down, are the ones you make yourself. And you know, that ability to make its own enzymes so perfectly, that's a clue. It points to a really impressive command and control center. So let's circle all the way back to where we started, to that mysterious and totally fascinating second brain in your gut. What's this number? 100 million. That's the estimated number of nerve cells, neurons, lining your entire gastrointestinal tract. To put that in perspective for you, that's more neurons than you have in your entire spinal cord. Just think about that for a second. Scientists call this network the enteric nervous system, or ENS. It is so complex and so capable of acting on its own that it totally earned its nickname, the second brain. It can manage the whole process of digestion without any instructions from the brain in your head. But, and this is so important, it's in constant communication with your main brain. And this brings us to a really revolutionary idea. For decades, we all just kind of knew that being anxious or depressed could cause stomach problems. But what if that's only half the story? What if the traffic on that superhighway between the brain and the gut runs both ways? Well, this is exactly what researchers are discovering right now. That irritation down in your gut can send signals up to your brain that can actually trigger changes in your mood. So it's not just your brain making your stomach upset. It could be your stomach making your brain feel anxious or depressed. This could be a total game changer for how we understand mental health. This incredible connection is completely revolutionizing how we see the mind and body. It's a powerful reminder that going with your gut isn't just some old figure of speech. Your gut is constantly talking to your brain. The real question is, are we finally getting good enough to listen to what it has to say?